Hello BookTube, and welcome to your daily science fiction magazine, and today is Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine from April 1969. Galaxy ran from 1950 to 1980, started out in late 1950 with the editor H.L. Gold, who was editor till 1961. Frederick Pohl took over to about 1970-ish, and then in the late 70s was James Bean, who is Bean Books, Bean Books, however the pronunciation is, and it was a very good magazine. It sort of ended the sort of stranglehold, if you want to look at it that way, of John W. Campbell. This, along with the magazine of science fiction, or fantasy and science fiction. There were foreign editions as well. There were some British editions and other European editions. This has 3 novelettes in: Witch Hunt by James E. Gunn, who was a very good writer, a non-fiction science fiction writer for the most part, and reviewer. But he wrote fiction as well. He's well known for he's done one of the first sort of PhDs that were published in a magazine, or part of his thesis was, or his dissertation, or maybe it was an MA. I can't remember now. But he also wrote a 6-volume, or edited 6 volumes called Rote Science Fiction, which is very good. It goes from science fiction from Gilgamesh up to the present. There's How Like a God by Robert Bloch, and yes, that's Robert Bloch of Psycho, but he also wrote science fiction early on. And then we've got Buckets of Diamonds by Clifford Simak, no need to say anymore. A Serial, and Now They Wake by Keith Laumer. He was very prolific. He had a series, the Retriff series. He also wrote novelizations for TV shows. He wrote a number of novelizations of the Avengers series, the 1960s ITV, I think it's ITV series. And then short stories, Beam Us Home, by James Triptree Jr., who was a pseudonym of Alice Bradley Sheldon. Slave to Man by Sylvia Jacobs, who was quite prolific for about a 20-year period. And there's collections of her stories. Not sure if she ever wrote a novel. There is a science department, science article by Willy Ley. He was a German-American writer, and he had a regular article in here, or column, from about 52 to his death in late 60s. And there's the editorial by Frederick Pohl as the editor in here. And there's a review of books, Galaxy Bookshelf, it's called, by Algis Budrys, who was a fabulous reviewer. There are editions of his reviews out there, and he also wrote fiction as well. This is illustrated as other ones are. All sorts of illustrations. They're usually obviously just pen sort of drawings. And the cover is really cool, and it always had this sort of shape to it for the most part. It did change occasionally throughout. And interesting, on the back is there's an advertisement, and it says, "Do you have a restless urge to write? If so, you have much in common with successful authors. Read how 12 famous writers are helping people turn a restless urge for self-expression into success in writing." And one of the writers is Rod Serling. So this is it's a magazine that I thoroughly enjoy. I like the magazine. The first 3 issues had Clifford Simak's novelization, or not novelization, but a serialization of his novel, Time and Again, as it was called, but it was called Time Quarry in here, and that was in October, November, and December 1950, the first 3 issues. And yeah, that's about it for Galaxy Magazine. Take care, BookTube. I'll see you tomorrow.